Hey everybody, welcome to the Rawle and Gene Show, the power of coaching. Today is episode 7, and we're going to be talking about embracing the now, unpacking the power of presence. Before we get too carried away, Rawle, my co-host, my brother from another mother, how are you?
I'm dangerously well, man.
Ooh, dangerously well. Let's
Dangerously.
sit with that for a while. I've never heard anyone refer to as dangerously well.
That's an old saying I've used for years, decades even. Early in my corporate days, I used to work with a woman that said it to me the first time. This is like back in the mid '80s, I think. And she said, "I go, Marnie, how you doing?" She goes, "I'm dangerously well." And just the way she said it, and ever since then I've been using it. So I just love it. But no, I'm well. I'm in good spirits. You know, I'm fully present. That's how I'm
Ooh.
showing up today. Just embracing everything. I had a good morning, working on poetry, doing some promoting on our show, and on the Me I Don't See experience, and had a couple of cups of tea. And now I'm here with my brother, and we're
Here we are.
live and in living color to talk about being present and the moment and all that stuff. So, how you doing? How you
I'm
showing up?
Dude, apparently dangerously well. I love that. I'm using that. We're going
You
to
have
continue the tradition of
you have
pulling that
permission
on.
to use it. And I see you got the memo, so we're both in black today.
Well, we are definitely hitting the colored shirts. Maybe this just becomes our thing that we have to match the color of our shirts going forward.
Yeah, but you see, I love the way it happened today, telepathically. Just like, I didn't say anything
versus
to you. I didn't ask.
versus the ridicule to go put the gratitude shirt on last time.
Ah, I
He's
didn't
like,
know.
well, I will. Rawl was like, I will not go live unless we are matching twins.
Well, we are two peas in a pod. Like I said, we're twins. Can you tell the difference? But this is what happens when you wear the same shirt. People might have a hard time.
It's very indistinguishable.
Which
Like
one
I.
is Rawle? Which one is Gene? So, you know.
And
So,
next time you come visit in Kelowna, we'll do a show, and you can be in my background, and I'll be upstairs somewhere else.
how is Kelowna?
Smoky.
Yeah.
There's definitely some smoke happening, and makes it a little hard to see all the outlines. Even from where I am, looking out at the mountains on Wednesday, you couldn't see them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that feels like all of a sudden like a bit of a metaphor for what our show is about today. Is like,
Lost in
what
the
do you
fog.
lost in the fog?
In the
Can't
fog.
stuck in the past?
Yeah.
Playing in the future
Yeah.
instead of being right here and finding the lines on your own road?
Yeah. Well, it's actually a very good metaphor. I mean, when people go and the only thing you have is the present and the moment and the now, and you should live in your life in the now and all this. And I go, yeah, should, could, whatever.
Yeah.
My thing is you're always in the moment. Our physical bodies are always in the moment.
Yes.
The mind, that's a different story. But
She
then
has other
again,
ideas.
well, then again, the mind to me is always in the moment. And, excuse me, when we speak of fear, when we speak of the mental fear, not physical fear, because fear does exist, or danger, if you want to use the word danger. There are physical dangers every day. Being hit by a car, a satellite falling out of the sky, maybe a tea bag explodes and you choke on the tea leaf. Who knows? But the mental fear I speak of is the trappings of the mind, and whether you're visiting the future and you're worried about the things that have not happened yet, which we tend to do a lot of. We try to make sense of choices that we haven't made yet.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Well,
And
and
that is
then
mad.
I think we were talking about this before we started the show, right? Like it's like the future, the past, both important, and so is like you say, we're anchored physically to the present,
Yeah,
but we can play in that future and that past. The
yeah,
past is like, what could I should have, could have, would have land. Future is like, what if land, right? Like they've got all these wrappers around them, and it's okay to be like go visit them. You get a visitor's pass to go in. Like you talk about your vault of wisdom, like it's important to go back into the vault sometimes and take something out.
hmm
And this place that I'm kind of exploring with that pass piece is like everything that you pull out is like based on a true story. That's that important part. The story that we look at and the perceptions that we look at that past, depending on what we're trying to get confirmed, tells a different story. I could pull out one story from the past and look at it at an infinite number of ways, and it all would mean different things, and I would feel and experience different things about looking at that past piece now here in the present.
Hmm.
That's an important. I think that's an important piece that you shouldn't feel shamed about, right? Like I tease my clients sometimes when they drop should have. I'm like, you don't want to should yourself. Like, definitely don't should yourself in public, and it's
Go to the bathroom.
definitely go to the bathroom. You don't want to should your pants, right? Like, it's a horrible experience, and something that you can't control sometimes. And
So just went from a PG to something else.
well, we just got demonetized if this thing ever gets monetized. So now we're good.
Oh man, I love my.
Where were we? Back to the present.
Yeah, back to the road. See, we just stepped out of the house. Welcome to the Rawle and Gene comedy hour.
Where there'll be laughter and maybe some help and a few tears along the way. But that's
another show.
That's another show. Right. So where were we? We were talking about going and visiting those places, and knowing when you go and visit as a visitor is like, how do you, if you're going to go visit without judgment of self. Go visit for the exploration, to be like, what do I need from my past that's a good reminder, and what can I also leave in the past without beating my present self up? Whatever happened in your past, regardless of what it was, you did the best you could with the information and the knowledge and the experience you had then.
Yeah.
And who you are now is different because of that experience and that knowledge, and you've been able to change, and you've been able to revamp and find your new path forward, bringing that back to the now and experiencing what it is to maybe experience a tough feeling, or maybe to look at something from that past that you're not proud of and go, I forgive you for making that, for going there, and I forgive you because you didn't know any better. You didn't have the experience you have now. So, like, looking at that past without that judgment allows you to be a visitor in it. And I think that kind of like connects from how you've shared the vault of wisdom with me in the past.
Yeah. And, and I love what you just said. And, just to add on that, to me, when I visit my past, I accept that, nostalgia is just a bunch of edited clips of experiences.
Yes.
Because I don't accept that the way I remember it is actually how it happened. The brain, the mind filters things out that's really not important and keeps what it perceives to be important. So your past is just an edited version of what you have experienced. So for me, when I step into the past, and even when I step into the past, I am in the now. Mm-hmm. Just like when I step into the future, because when I step into the past, I am stepping in to see what I have done before, understanding that it's just a snippet of a bigger experience. But usually you tend to hold on to things that you can learn. And I don't even feel the need to apologize for anything that's happened in the past. I do believe in apologizing, but even that, when you say, I'm not proud of this or that, that is a judgment. So for me, you're going to judge I'm not going to be judgmental about what I have done.
There's a powerful distinction.
Yeah, I am not going to be judgmental of what I have done. I am just simply there to be an observer and go, okay, if I've done this before, what is it that I could potentially learn from the experience that I know is in the moment? Just like when I step into the future, all I'm doing is stepping into my imagination and stepping into a world of possibilities, and seeing which possibility may best resonate with me, and then coming back into the now, if you want to call it that, and saying, okay, if that's a possibility, what must I do now to bring that about? So, but is, even when I step into the future or the past, I'm still in the now, because it's only in the moment you can access the future or the past.
It's
So
important.
this thing about dual, you got to watch how you play. And when you step into the future or when you step into the past, you're not in the present and not in the moment. Well, that's not true, because it's only in the moment I can access those two understandings. So for me, everything I do, I am in the moment. The thing is, when I'm in the moment and I'm being bombarded with thoughts, or I'm having a low feeling day where I just feel, I allow thoughts to show up. I have no control over probably 90% of the thoughts that show up. So I just let them be. I don't judge them, I just observe. Now, there's times I do that. And if I do, I'm okay with that. I think one of the problems that we have with being present is that when we feel we're not present, we beat ourselves up. Somehow we're not being spiritual, we're letting ourselves down, or we're letting down whoever they are. No, not letting anyone down, not even myself. I am just being honest with the moment and being honest with me.
Yeah.
And the way I choose to be is not dependent on the experiences that show up or that I create. I am going to be me, regardless of whatever experience come. I'm not going to let experiences dictate who I am.
Oof.
And for me, that's just where I've evolved to. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just for me. Now, if it resonates with you, we can
Then
talk
take
about
what
it
you
more.
can. Yeah,
But
for sure.
I choose to be who I am, regardless of whatever situation comes up.
Oof. And I think I'll stack onto that a little bit. As somebody who has been carried away with the past and dreaming of the future, and kind of like blaming those two for dictating what's happening now,
Yeah.
and learning to come to terms with choice and possibility, and stepping back and kind of like, I use the word forgive myself, because that's a place of like, for me, I think it's important to take that step, is to, if we're going to heal a wound within ourselves, we have to clean it first.
Yep.
And the first step to cleaning that is typically around forgiveness, to let that start to heal, knowing that it will leave a scar, but that scar is going to become part of you, and you're not going to really notice it unless you put the attention back onto it and go back to that learning down the road. And it's a practice. Like, I think we've said this every single show. Maybe we turn this into, it's a practice. Right? Like,
and scars are part of your wisdom, your vault of wisdom.
they're important, and you get a story. You are going to get information from it.
Yes.
Is like, and that's that flip side of it, is where if you can start looking at this as just information, then you can say, what do I want to do with this information?
Yeah.
Well, how do I want to experience this
How do you want to
information?
explore? Exactly.
Right? Like, there's that component too, of like bringing it back into the presence. Now, physically, like you say, we're anchored into the moment, into the presence. But it's like, where are we putting our focus? Right? It's like, if we're going to go be a visitor in the past, go be an explorer in the future, we also have to pull that back and bring that focus into our body in this moment, and like really get connected again with what we're feeling.
And that's so important what you're saying, because to do that, this is why the breath is so important. We breathe every day to sustain life, but the breath as well, it helps anchor you and stay focused in this moment. So
Yes.
When I visit those two planes, when I come back, fully come back, I focus on my breathing, so I can ground myself back into this moment, and this moment of me.
Yes.
Into my, it's not in the time, not what the Timex or the Rolex says. is are you fully engaged with you again? Because excuse me, I agree with you when you talk about forgiveness, but when I did my internal work, and I saw the markers of things that I've done in the past that I knew I needed to apologize. I apologized, and I did the work then. So whenever I revisit those experiences, I don't feel the need to have to. It's like, you don't have to apologize every time.
No.
If you've done the deep work and you've really owned up to what you've done and apologized for it, whether it's spiritual or to the person or entities that you've hurt, You don't need to keep apologizing, because to me, that's once again being judgmental with that experience. That means maybe you're still not fully right with that experience if you feel the need to apologize. So that's the only thing I wanted to clarify. That's what I meant by when I said I don't apologize. But I completely agree with you. I think apologizing is key, and it plays a part in being present, because if your mind is constantly being bombarded with thoughts that of regret, then you're taking away your ability to fully be present with yourself in this moment.
Well, I hear you say apologize, and another A word jumps up to mind is like accountability.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to be accountable to in this moment? And like, and if you go back and watch the video, I did have deep breath right before I started some of these, each sentence almost. It's like,
Okay.
what am I going to connect to back here, right here? What am I going to feel? Like as you go starting, like Serena mentions, our bodies are a somatic compass. Like they have a lot of information that's happening down below this part of our body.
Yes.
This piece, great storyteller. And a piece that I used to love saying back in the day is like, why would we let the truth get in the way of a great story? Like, it's hilarious and it's true. like,
Oh,
like this thing is incredible at creating stories. This is going to give below here is going to tell you what's actually happening. It's like that's that connection, right? Be like, right now, you can't. Maybe you can see, maybe you can't. Like my got little goosebumps and everything else is happening. Is like so. What happens when we start chasing that in that moment of being accountable? Like if we're going to step into that place of forgiveness or maybe apologizing, is like when you do that, are you feeling like where are you feeling? Is there a tension?
Yeah.
What do you feel in your body? What do you need to like breathe into that part of your body? What do you need to learn from that? How do you stand with it and start to go, oh, this is what it means to get right? It's like almost like flushing something out of your body.
Well, another A word, since we're doing words, you talk about accountability. To me, and I'll add to accountability, acceptance.
Ooh, there it is.
Acceptance of what shows up. And what I mean by that, it's like when I look at the experience that I had last year with my daughter passing, I still remember getting that phone call from her mom. And for a split second, my mind wanted to like check out. Yeah. And I quickly gathered myself and go, no, I still don't fully know, but I did know. And I'm going to stay present. I'm going to stay focused. What do I have to do right now? Right now, I need to go upstairs, wake my sister up, let her know what's going on. Come back down, get ready, and we go. And I remember that car ride to the hospital, just being fully present, watching the cars, just taking in the environment, the sunny day that it was, just not letting my mind drift too far or too far back. In a situation like that, I don't think it's impossible. I think it's impossible not to let your mind drift. So, but I purposely said to myself, I'm not going to get too far forward or too far back, and just stay here as much as you can. And I did that. And from that moment on, I think just being present and fully accepting what was going on is what helped me through that experience. Yeah. Right? Because, like I said, regardless of the experience, I have a choice in how I want to be, and how I choose to be. And it's in those hard types of experiences where your spiritual beliefs and your spiritual work or the deep work and everything is going to be challenged. Yeah. It's going to be challenged in a harsh way. So, in a weird way, I was grateful for that experience because it showed me that I could be present in some of the harshest experiences. I've had harsh experiences before, but nothing like that experience. So for me, accountability, yeah, definitely. But acceptance for what is. That was an experience that was not in my choice, was out of my choice. And I could choose to fight it or I can choose to accept it. And I've learned from other experiences when I fight it, it tends to not work out the way I want it to. But when I accept, doesn't mean I like the experience, but when I accept.
And there's an acknowledgement in that as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like I acknowledge you right now for sharing that because this is a hard time for you. And for
Yeah,
everybody involved.
yeah. And we're still dealing with it. A year and a bit later, we're still dealing with it. My mom is still struggling with it. My sister's kids are. I'm in a good place with it, um, because of my spiritual belief. And then, I had poetry that I could lean on, and then I had a poetry community that I could lean on through my shows. So, I was never alone, and I felt supported. But the biggest support that I had was me, right? And utilizing, my practices of focusing on my breath and not being harsh with myself or whatever thoughts showed up. I remember 3 times asking, my creator, why me? And each time the answer came back was, why not you?
Oof.
3 times I asked, and then I stopped after the third time. Yeah,
You're like, fine, I get it.
why not me? So well, but that's just me. I'm not saying the way I am is the right way or the wrong way. It's just it's what I've evolved to.
Yeah.
And this is why we are evolution. We're constantly evolving and learning and growing.
I think that piece right there is an important one for. We've got listeners that are watching us right now to like, hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. You all rock, by the way. Um, where were we going? Oh, that's an important piece for everybody that is listening in the future and listening along with us. Like, we both have our own ways, and we're still continuing to evolve and integrate more into those ways. We hope that when you listen to us, like maybe a little chunk of it is useful for you, or maybe none of it is. And we accept and acknowledge all of that, right? Is like, take what you can and what you need and practice with it.
Yeah. And to even build on that, take what you need and then go play with it, research it some more. Not just because Rawle and Gene, you're just gonna blindly do it. I invite
like, well, that's the worst advice ever. Be like, just don't trust us full-heartedly.
I know, then we don't have a job, right? Yeah, but it's funny. I do this in hopes that one day we don't have a job. But I also accept the reality of our human experience, where where I accept the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful of life. I accept that I'm in a world of duality, and there is no way I can know light without dark. I have not, I'm not talking multi-dimensional and other dimensional and spiritual understanding. I'm talking about in this physical world. As spirit, we have chosen to come to this physical world for a reason. And this, to me, is a world based on fear. This is why fear works so well. Wherever these energies and spirits come from, if you want to use another word like love, okay, I don't know. But all I know is, as spirit, and this is going into my spiritual beliefs, I am energy and I am here for a reason. And I believe that reason is to learn and to grow through these physical experiences. And not all of them are going to be good and beautiful. Why do I say that? I just have to examine my life. Yeah, I haven't met that person yet that has only had good and beautiful experiences.
We'll flip that around, Rawl, back to where we were at a little while earlier. It's like, it's all information. Yeah. Right? Well, information if we look at it as just information, as data, doesn't mean it's good or bad, beautiful or ugly. It just is some data, and you're like, huh. Yeah. Well, what's beautiful about this? What's ugly about this? And as you flip it over, you're going to see all the shades that are in there of it and how you are going to shade it. And if I were to hand it over to you, it would show up on your screen. You'd be like, oh, that's beautiful. And after something, I was just like, oh, here's the ugly of that. You will find the beautiful. And it is still just the information. It is still that opportunity to look at it, to explore it, to play with it, to feel all the things, to express, to start to understand when you're looking at each piece of that data of your story is going, what do I feel about this? How do I express this? Mm-hmm. How do I learn to express was happening within me? But words are great, but there's a component of having that expression within your body too, to get to know it without words too.
Well, and so over 60% of our actual communication is nonverbal. So I think it's important to understand the energies and what you're feeling and where you're feeling it, because that's going to resonate out and others will feel it. So, the only thing I have control over is me. and the energies that I hold within me and what I put out into the world. This is why I don't worry about thoughts. I get bombarded with thoughts, all kinds of thoughts, low vibing thoughts, crazy thoughts, all kinds. But to me, this apparatus within this skull of mine, it's like a big computer, or I like to say it's like an orchestra. Right? An orchestra is always playing. Orchestra is always playing. And thoughts will come in, and sometimes they'll play those thoughts.
Yeah.
And those thoughts, the voices of those thoughts, whether it's doubt, fear, love, lust, whatever, it'll play it. The conductor is the one that decides which one that we will play, that we're going to put into the world.
Yes. If you look at it from that orchestra metaphor, be like, they can practice anything they want, but the conductor gets to say, this is the show we're going to put on for people.
Yeah. Knock yourself out. Play whatever you want. Because it's practice.
And practice, I rumor has it, we've said practice is a good thing. So is there maybe some...
I've mentioned that word before.
It may have come out once or twice.
Once or twice, yeah.
So viewing this as an opportunity to practice is, what if all of a sudden you become okay with whatever the practice is, as a form of feeling that information, playing with the data, playing with the music that the mind is going to keep bringing up because it's nonstop. And then you're like, I like that tune. Oh, that tune feels great. I want to show the world. I want to express to the universe this tune right now.
Yeah. And maybe this is for a future show, because when we're talking about being present, being now, when you're asleep, are you present? When you're dreaming, are you in the moment?
Well, there's a head scratcher.
Yeah. So to me, it's all relative, and I can only dream and sleep in the moment. That builds upon moments and moments, and those moments will add up to whether it's 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours sleep, whatever. I'll have a multitude of dreams. Many a times I don't remember a lot of my dreams. That doesn't mean I didn't have dreams. It didn't mean I didn't sleep, right? So I'm not conscious, but maybe I am. Like so I said, maybe that's for another show. Add that to the funnel of show ideas. But it's. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I have it all figured out when it comes to understanding the present and the now. I just know what I know for right now. That may change tomorrow. That may change 10 years from now. But for me, being present is being good and accepting who I am right now. To fully accept all of me in this moment. Oh, that moment's gone, and here's another one, and here's another one, and here's another one. And the moments are moments, they're temporary, and then they're gone. But my understanding in this physical world, as long as I still have breath in my body, then I have the opportunity to accept who I am right now. And to me, that's all I can really do if I believe in my spiritual practice and the work that I've done. That's what I've learned, is I find when you're fully acceptant of who you are and what's showing up, you tend to look at things differently and embrace it differently and not beat yourself up. I just flow with it. And if I feel sad, then I feel sad. I don't beat myself up. If I feel happy or if I feel indifferent, whatever it is, I don't beat myself up for feeling it. Yeah. I think it's important to understand feeling it. Right? How you feel is how you feel. Right? You don't have to act on those feelings, but just feel them and understand why you're feeling this way. And like you always say, where in the body are you feeling this? Where in the spirit are you feeling this? And understand, if you're feeling it in your heart or in your liver or in your back, why. I have this ongoing pain.
You know what? I would even, for those who are just starting to explore that, is like pull that why question back, right? Because why, first off, why can be a very defensive question going, why am I feeling this? Ooh, well, there's temporary judgment wrapped into that question. But if you're just starting to explore and play with being truly present, is like, just explore it. Just
Just explore.
feel it. Go, what is happening? You know,
Well,
like
kind of.
I'll share an example. It's like
Oh, yep.
earlier this week, I make lunches. Well, most of the time I hope make the lunches. But the kids have wanted a fruit salad. And I took it as a moment to like really be like clearly present with what was happening as I was cutting each piece of strawberry and slicing the raspberries and opening up the mango and the pineapple and just going, trying to use my own advice is like, slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Hmm.
And just like being aware of my breath and just like each stroke and like really putting the effort into focusing on the moment of like holding the knife, of cutting the slices, dumping it into their containers and everything else along the way is like that in itself. These tactical little practices that you can bring in, brushing your teeth. What if every moment you just, even for that 2 minutes, you're brushing your teeth in the morning, you're just focusing on each stroke and where it's going and how you're feeling that within your mouth. It's like these are the small steps to bring that awareness of what is happening and feeling it all.
Yeah. And
And
the
I think
word
that's that other part
and the word
is,
that comes to mind. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish it.
go ahead,
No.
your turn.
No, I was just going to say the word that comes to mind is not an A word; it's an M word. Mindful.
Hmm.
Mindfulness.
Yeah.
I mind. It's like I love doing laundry. I love doing laundry. Because when I do laundry, it's like a moment of zen for me, kind of like what you're talking about with the fruit salad. I focus on just doing the laundry. I
Yeah.
focus on the process of the laundry, of gathering the clothes. Well, they bring it down and then I dump it out from the hamper and then sort it out. And in every step, I am focused on every step. I don't
Yeah.
use it as an opportunity to think about other things and so forth. I want to focus on that moment. Now, having said that, if while I'm focusing on that moment, my mind drifts, okay, okay, because I'm still focused in the activity of that moment. So I accept that if my mind needs to drift, that's what my mind needs to do. I don't question it. I don't beat myself up for it. I stay in this moment of what I'm doing. So, you know, yeah. Sonia said intention is everything with intention. Yes, very much so. And then take that intention and put it into action. Because intention is great, but you got to put it into action. And the action is, I'm going to focus, like you said, I'm going to focus on every slice of cutting the watermelon or the strawberries, right? And even focus on watching the knife go through the flesh of the strawberry.
And the sound of it and all
Yeah,
the senses
yeah,
that you get to bring
yeah,
into it and how it feels, how the strawberry feels under your
yeah,
fingers and everything else is like there is an intention to it that you then follow through with the action, which then allows you to have this wonderful place of mindfulness
yeah.
and experiencing being incredibly present in that moment and knowing that you don't need to, that's not for every moment, because
No,
like we said earlier, the orchestra is still playing
still
and it's
playing.
going to
Yeah.
be like, hey, what do you think about this tune? You're like, no, we're gonna keep playing this one, but
Right now, I'm gonna.
thanks for the suggestion. Maybe we'll cue that one up later on, right? Like then that pulls back to your intention and your commitment to that intention, and it
Yeah,
just kind of completes this circle. And
yeah,
at any point, you get to make the choice of going, we're gonna get off the train now and pick a new song.
yeah. And laundry doesn't last all day,
No,
right? So when
well,
I'm
we could make it last all day,
laundry,
but like it doesn't need to.
yeah. Well, even when I finish with the laundry, I'm in the moment. But
Yeah,
that intent of this activity is my moment of zen. I'm going to
yeah,
focus on that. I love doing it too when I step into nature. Now, stepping into nature for me is not necessarily just going off to the woods, right? In I'm in nature even in the city. This is where I live. But can you be focused? So when I go outside and in my neighborhood and I'm just purposefully focused, mindfully focused on where I am in my environment and just watching the birds darting around and listening to the sounds and just being in that moment, I find my thoughts, they don't get quiet, but they're just there. They're just there.
yeah,
And there's no power. to them because they're just there, and I'm just so entrenched in that moment. It's one of my favorite things to do is just stand outside and just look at the birds and listen to them because they only know how to be in the moment, at least from my understanding. So, I don't know, but Sonia made a good point. Everything is intention, and the intention that you have, but then you have to take that intention and put it into action. When we say practice, that's the practice, is putting it into action and being kind and gentle with yourself.
Yes.
So that when you're not kind and gentle with yourself, you'll understand, oh, I know I should be kind or could be kind and gentle to myself. Why am I choosing not to do that in this moment, and to learn from it and not fear it? It's a practice. It's a buildup. I wasn't always this way, right?
No.
But I don't look back at the way I was and find fault or beat myself up or regret, because that's pointless. I can't go back and undo anything. All I can do is choose to learn from the nostalgia that's been edited, right? And so, yeah. What do I know, man? I'm just a guy that's got a crazy symphony playing in his head.
and there's a part of that. I'd be like, that symphony plays some wild things.
Yeah.
Maybe the world's very grateful that you're the conductor.
Yeah. What do you mean, Sonia? You love what Gene said. You didn't like what I said. No, but you're right, Sonia. This is why we're partners, man. The man is smart. He has great ideas, but it's a commitment to intent. And, that's truly what I'm saying. I'm committed to the intent of being honest and being true to myself in the moment.
She says she loves you too, by the way, so you can stop your crying.
I love her dearly. We go way, way back. She remembers my days in suits and ties. So, yeah, but, it's, to me, life is a daily practice.
Yeah.
And it's, whatever you want to practice is what you will do when things get really harsh. It's like, being a football coach. I always tell my boys, and other coaches have said it, the way you play is based on how you practice. So really understand how you're practicing and what you're practicing, making sure you're practicing things that will yield the results you want.
There it is. It's very similar to maybe a pump up I would give myself in my younger days is very similar. Is like all professionals, period, be it athletes or whatever, that are taking be it professional speakers, coaches, athletes, they're practicing for the big game. And in some stakes, we never know when the big game's going to be. Those athletes, they know when the big games are going to be, and they're practicing for it. They've been practicing their entire lives for it. Us regular folk, we got to be on practicing on a regular basis, because the big game's going to show up at any given moment without notice.
Yeah. Well, the big game is constant. You're living it. I'm stepping out of the moment for a second. Come here. Come.
See that you're having a conversation with somebody.
Come. Come.
We hear a little voice.
I'm world famous though.
I'm trying to drag my niece into the show. She's being shy all of a sudden. So.
I think I'm world famous.
You are world famous. You're my. Come here.
I'm not world
You're famous to his world.
This is my niece. That's her
Say hi, everybody.
Henry. She just came home from school, and she doesn't love me, but she does. Okay, go.
She's so annoying.
See, I'm so annoying.
Well, so she knows you, is what we're saying.
She does. I am annoying. Man, life is life is good, man. All of it. Yeah. And
it's the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful.
Yeah, life is good, and it's in this understanding, this this illusion, where we get to have this experience. There's no other place, and it's important. Not saying our spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs aren't important, but this physicality of this life, this duality, this world of fear, whatever you want to call it, it's very important.
Yeah.
Because it's where we live and have these experiences, and we get to have it together. And this is one of the things we're not realizing. we get to have it together, and because we have it, we're having it together. We're not always going to agree. We're not always going to do the right thing. That's what history has taught me. So for me, when I'm in the moment, I accept even my moment of me being focused on the moment is dependent on my worldview. Okay, I accept that. I accept that. Right? I don't beat myself up for having it. I just look at it and go, is that worldview still working for you? Right? Because if the worldview is not working for you, then it definitely will hinder your ability to be present and accept what shows up.
So. 100% agree. And I think there's maybe another story and episode in our future about coping and the power of coping and the state of, is this coping helping you long term? Is this helping you get to where you need to be? And accepting there's a component of like whatever that coping with that perspective is, it's still serving you right now.
Still serving you. Yeah. Doesn't always, you don't always.
We'll put a pin in that for another day.
Well, we're building this funnel, man. So we keep growing this. We'll have 10 years of shows. So we're doing this for 10 years.
Oh, well, if we have to,
we will step into the future to see what that looks like.
We made a commitment to get beyond 10 episodes, so we never said what the upper limit of that was going to be. Right. And as well, for everybody that's watching, please never hesitate to reach out to Rawle or I, or even comment like a number of you have already been today. If there's topics you want us to address as coaches, we help people get through those spots, and getting out. Our power is getting you unstuck. That's the simplest way of going about it. And so if there's anything that's you're getting stuck in, let us know, and we will bat that around between the two of us.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a good ride. That's how I look at it. And that, to me, this is why I think I'm good with where I am, because it's been a good ride.
Yeah.
When I look back at my life and the things that I've experienced, it's like, man, it's like when we were joking earlier about, Shrek and Donkey.
And then we're gonna have waffles.
We're gonna have before the waffles. It was like that's after the waffles when he was they were going into the castle to see Lord Farquaad, and they went through the turnstile and he flipped over and he looked up and Shrek goes, "Let's do that again." That's how I feel sometimes, but I don't want to do it again. But man, what a ride, what an experience. The things that I've gotten to do, and the things that have happened, and things I've done. The people I've experienced, man, I wouldn't change a thing, nothing. Because if you had that ability, then if you could change anything, then you wouldn't be who you are now. And I love who I am, and every day I think I fall more in love with myself. Every day, and more importantly, I like who I am. Period.
There's another important distinction between loving oneself and liking oneself.
Yeah. And I really don't care what people think. Doesn't mean I don't want them to like me. I don't want, I want people to like me. I'm human like everyone else. But at the end of the day, when I put my head down on the pillow, I'm not going to sit there and wonder, if Gene likes me or if Sonia likes me or if anyone, that's up to you, not me.
We have it in the comments that Sonia loves you. So that's for everyone.
Sorry. Let me rephrase. I'm not worried if she likes me. I know she loves me. Yeah, but let's keep building the pipe and keep doing this, because I look forward to this time of day and this time of week with you, and you and I interact all week, but this is a chance for us to give back to some degree, and I do this because I'm just trying to contribute to uplifting our human consciousness. That's all.
I agree, brother.
That's all I'm doing. And however you choose to take it and digest it, I leave that to you. I'll just speak my truth based on my experiences, and you don't have to believe him. You don't have to take it in. That's completely up to you. It's like I said, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But going back to Sonia's point, it is about intention. And my intention is to put things out into the world that's going to hopefully invite us to, to uplift our consciousness as human beings, and seeing that we're humans, and to get out of the things that keep separating us. We're told our whole life how different we are. I'm starting to realize we're really not different. We have very few differences. how we practice is different.
Oh, 100%. But
But we all,
we're all within this like form that we call human. Like
yeah,
there's not the
and we're
great
all
thing and the
experiencing the good.
crappy thing about being human is being human.
Yeah, and you're going to experience the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful of life. All of us. So,
Sonia, we're so happy you could be with us today as well and
yes.
enjoying that.
And heal up, my friend. Sonia just had some major surgery. It looks like she's healing well. So, thanks for joining us today. And
Yeah.
always good to have your spirit around. So, they talk about a good woman. There's a good woman right there.
Well, you know what, Rawle? We've kind of blown past our 40-minute mark again.
Oh, okay. So I guess it's
Look at us go. Is it that time?
I guess
I guess this is that time that we have to like hawk our wares a little bit. Is Rawle and I have something called the Me I Don't See experience that we're working on. Rawle, you want to give them a little taste of what that's all about while I drop the comments down below?
Sure. The Me I Don't See experience is a workshop that Gene and I have created to invite people, whether you're a novice to workshops of self-improvement, self-empowerment or not, to really, step into a mechanism guided by both of us where you can truly be brutally honest with yourself and, to really identify the barriers that are stopping you, because, you're the only one that really knows what's stopping you or what's hindering you or what's blocking you, whatever word you want to use. So it's not this earth-shattering new revelation, but if you're at a point in your life where you're ready, truly ready to know you in a different way, I think this workshop will serve you well. The Me I Don't See experience consists of two parts. There's the assessment and then the workshop. If you sign up, Gene is putting the stuff in the information in the comments. If you sign up, register for the assessment, then you'll be emailed a link where the invitation is to send the assessment up to 15 people in your circle that have an understanding of who you are, that can answer 3 basic questions honestly and openly, to give you feedback of how you show up, how they perceive you. Because it's important. We don't live on this planet by ourselves, so it's important to understand how others do see you and perceive you. And then in the workshop, we'll debrief it. We'll compile it, and then we'll debrief it for the participants in regards to what was said. And then that's the first part of the workshop. And then the second part of the workshop is some other work around being present and letting go and all these things that we're still fine tuning. So that's the assessment. That's the Me I Don't See experience. If all goes well, which is going, because we're very grateful and thankful for the 12 people that has signed up. We'll be doing a further work in the fall where we'll be launching a mastermind group. But right now, the Me I Don't See experience consists of the assessment and then the 2 workshops. And I think we've priced it accordingly to meet the times, because we know with inflation and so forth, times are tough for everyone else. So I think, both Gene and I made a conscious choice to price it in a way that we feel it honors us, but also honors people who are serious about this. We're not worried about if you think it's too cheap or too expensive. We have to honor what we believe is right, and I think we've priced it accordingly. So really looking forward to it, because we've gotten some good traction so far, and the first workshop will start on Thursday, June 8th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we'll continue to post more information on it and invite others to sign up. If you are so inclined, please like the Peel Back Facebook page, also on LinkedIn, Peel Back. Both Gene and I have our own individual pages, but I'm working with Gene to really help him build up Peel Back. So
we're helping each other now.
He's my boss, so please like it and sign up so he doesn't beat me anymore.
You're going to get me canceled here. You stop this.
I remember, I'm an idiot, so people expect that. But no, we appreciate your support, and I'm blown away that the amount of people that have already responded and expressed interest in it. So I think when you're when your intentions are honorable, people will feel it and want to support it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've had a number of people say definitely would love to do this, but it's not the right time. And I go, okay, not a problem. We'll reach out again. So yeah, for me, I don't see experience. So I'm really looking forward as we creep closer to the first workshop, which is like I said, June 8th.
We're very excited about it. Yes, and again, thanks Rawle for saying all those wonderful things about what we're doing together. And it is wonderful. Like there's a lot of power, and I think should talk about it on this show, or maybe on the Lifting the Fog, where I talk a little bit more about business. Is like doing this together has actually accelerated what we've been doing on our own quite a lot as well, right? So there's a lot of power in our partnership here and working with others. So more to explore for sure.
And and Gene has he has his another weekly podcast that he does, which is more business related. And when I have the opportunity, I'll step in and sit in and listen because it's quite informative. And just knowing this man now for a number of years and watching how I'll call it his spiritual understanding is even seeping into that show. It's really refreshing. And it's not just seeping in, how it's being received.
Yes.
I don't even know if you've realized that that's what you're doing and so forth. So it's really great to just be a witness to your growth and your evolution as a man and as a human being. So
I appreciate that, brother. That means a lot. You've been an important part of that journey as well as a close friend. You've been my coach in the past, and now we're doing this in brotherhood. Let's strip away from partnership. This is brotherhood baby.
Yeah.
And we get to do a lot of cool things, seeing each other grow and pushing one another. You may not know this, but there was a time Rawle hated being actually on these type of things, and now I'm forcing him to do it all the time now, and we love it. It's weird. It's weird. It's almost like I told you years ago people wanted to hear your voice, and you said it was bullshit.
Well, we sometimes can get caught up by our own sense as well. So I accept. Our friend Drew said the same thing for years, and I'm still debating on writing a book because I don't know, but I am accepting the possibility of doing that because I know you've said it, Drew said it. Even my son the other day buzzed me, goes, "Pops, do you remember those lessons you taught us when we were playing football?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You need to write a book."
Yes. Who's ever still watching? Should Rawle write a book? Let's see that in the comments before we get to our last section, which is the exposed section.
Indulge in the madness. People.
Yes, indulge in it.
Anyway, I'm sure it's coming, and I'm sure it's something we'll probably do. But anyway, let's get to the last segment so we can get people out of here. All
right. I think I went first last time.
Yeah. So,
Sonia says, heck yes, by the way. So that's 4 of us saying write the book.
Thanks, Sonia. Thanks for backing me up. No. This is a new segment. At the end of every show, we both will recite some poetry. So I went last. No, you went first last time. So it's my turn to go first. And then you get to take us home. So I had a number of poems pulled up. But when Gene and I were kind of doing a pre-show production, I gave him 3 titles. And this is the one he said resonated with him. So this is the one I will choose to share with you and the audience today, and it's called Everything, Nothing, Me. I believe what I trust, therefore I know everything, nothing, me. In me, I know what I trust. I am a believer in all things, nothing, everything, me. Is it an illusion, what I know? Is it real or make-believe? Maybe I'm the illusion. Me, everything, nothing. I believe in me. In me, I believe. Oh, the paradox of the illusion, the box walled by duality's dance. To know, to trust, to believe. I am everything, nothing, me. End of piece.
Is this what we're supposed to do?
Beautiful piece. You're catching on. Thank you. Thank you.
I love that piece, Rawle. Thank you for sharing it. All right, I guess I'll do mine then.
There you go.
All right. Be present. Is it here? Am I being it right? searching my past for examples of being it, imagining my future filled with it, not realizing I'm missing it right now. The stories I tell of my past, subtitled based on true events, doesn't tell the story as it was, but it entertains the part of me that went looking for the story to confirm what I wanted. The future is a place of dreams and stories I tell wrapped inside what if, stacked on top of one another like those wooden dolls. This is a pretty shell, but it's empty inside. The past or the future keeps me distracted. The what ifs based on truish stories of the past. Neither something I can hold on to, yet feels just out of reach, held here by something. I look at my feet, and as if for the first time I realize, there I am. I am. Only available here. In this moment, in the present. I was in the past, I could be in the future. I am here in the moment. The gift that allows me to exist was here all along, waiting for me to see it, meeting me at my feet. End of piece.
Wow. So here I am having a moment of duality. What I mean by that is two moments in one, watching and fully listening to what you're saying, and then feeling like a proud papa watching you, because you're brilliant, man. You think you can't write? That was a brilliant piece.
Thanks, brother.
Brilliant capture of the show's topic. So when you talk about me writing a book, you need to write. Well, you don't need to do anything. I invite you to
You're
write.
inviting
more.
me.
I invite you to write more. You're good. I love it.
I appreciate that.
Maybe what we'll do is we'll gather all these pieces that we've recited over the shows and put it somewhere and do something with it.
I think we should. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Sonia,
I just love how
Sonia's giving us a happy hug face. So.
Thank you, Sonia. She's also writing, and need to get her on to do some. Well, I'd love to hear her poetry as well. I challenge her to write more, because I used to feel the same way. Coming from the business world and you're writing business and stuff. Like I think Sonia's a really good writer, but when you share that creative side, man, I love it. Just loved it. So I was like smiling and feeling this pride swelling up inside, like watching my son reading this thing. That's what it felt like. I was having this proud daddy moment. Yeah,
I accept that. Thank you.
Good.
It's uncomfortable, but I accept it.
Well, that's okay. Yeah. Look how you came through the discomfort.
Exactly. Step to it. Do the hard things.
Yeah.
Maybe here's another episode is like, how do we do something hard outside of what we're trying to work on and leverage that to give us the momentum elsewhere. I think that's three additional topics already.
It is. But once again, we'll just add that to the pipeline. Anyway, my friend, I think we've reached the...
I think we've definitely squeezed the most out of this moment right now. We were very present. High five to both of us. Great topics, a lot of laughter, and thank you to everybody who's followed along with us today.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. And yes, feel the fear and do it anyways, Sonia.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Run to the fear. The
only way you're going to get confidence and courageousness is actually doing the thing you're afraid of.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually, it's not showing up actually to hurt you. It's actually showing up to go, you remember how strong and powerful you are.
Yes, 100%. And all right, now we're actually going to let you all go. So thank you so much for watching the Rawle and Gene Show, The Power of Coaching. We're here every Friday at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That means 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. My name's Gene. That's my brother Rawle. And we will see you next Friday. Oh, one last thing. It's the legal language. This podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals.